Thank you so much. Amazing. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for keeping your minds open for this AI session. So I'll just start off with a little video. Hughes, and I am very lucky to be coming from Leonardo.AI today. So I have a 10-year career in the creative industries and technology. So just a little bit of my history. Back in 2016, when Facebook acquired Oculus, I was brought in to figure out, okay, what is VR? What is immersive storytelling? How does all of this work? And since then, my role has really been like playing this conversation between understanding how tech speaks to the creative industries. And then there was obviously AR, there was NFTs, Web3. I was Goma's digital resident a few years ago. Like, should art galleries have NFTs? Like, these are the conversations that we're having. And then last year in 2022, something happened with AI, which everyone just had to sit up and look at. AI has been around forever, but Gen AI is this little thing that's a bit different. So with traditional AI or machine learning, it's really good at recognizing patterns. With Gen AI, it's really good at creating from those patterns. And so something happened in the industry where it just changed the game. Now, I recently made the news as to say why I am encouraging artists. Yes, I've changed the word begging to encouraging. And I think there is phenomenal reason. Begging just doesn't sound, it's not my vibe, yeah. So, and I think there's astounding reason for it. So I'm going to spend the next 30 minutes showing you where technology is today. This is today. If you are not paying attention to this, it's beyond inevitable. It's current and it's happening at every level of the creative process. And I don't think that is a bad thing. I think it's a very good thing. So I have a master's in screenwriting. I love screenwriting. And my whole purpose was to get out what I saw in my head to other people, right? It's like, if only you could see what was in my mind. And I used to write it into a script. And now I write it into a prompt bar. Okay, so I take these ideas, these visions, these stories that I've been holding onto for years, and honestly, a click of a button, I can share that with you, and you can be brought into what I'm seeing in my mind. I saw this image on Facey, love it. It was an artist, and he'd been doodling, what he saw in his mind. He'd been doodling this idea. I think it was like his kid's dream or something like that. And in an afternoon, rapidly, this creator was able to bring that into fruition. If that doesn't astound you, this to me, it was like things I used to dream of as a kid. And we see creators who have been holding onto these stories, these narratives for years, and in an afternoon are able to actualize and bring to life these phenomenal creative ambitions. So for me, this is very exciting. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm a little bit biased when it comes to AI because I was discovered because of it, okay? So for anybody who remembers Imagine Impact, this was Ron Howard's screenwriting initiative back in the day. So they got over 2,000 submissions a week, okay, reading scripts. I'm sure many of you in your room, you get submissions constantly. We are moving into a space where these scripts are being written by AI. We're using ML, coverage is being done by that because you're able to do things at scale. Now, what is good about this is it means people who are underrepresented and people who from communities that, like, Hollywood is bloody hard to crack, right? You've got to know the right people. Being able to manage things at scale is really, really exciting for being able to find new and fresh talent. So my show, I paid a guy on Tinder $1,000 for those drawings, by the way. For real, yeah. And this is my series, right? And it's back then, like doing an animated series is very expensive, very hard. It's a lot, like you really have to be quite committed to it. Like, whereas now, if I really wanted to, like, I could probably make a pilot of my own show myself. Like with maybe like, I don't know, $20, $30, $50, you could seriously be getting a high resolution animation rapidly. This creator made me like, this should blow your mind. Like, this is not CGI. This is AI. This is generative AI. Okay, so I constantly get to spend every day seeing just phenomenal creators and the work that they can bring out into the world. And what we see is just this change. Now, you might have seen this music video. This came out, this was one of the Sora's, I forget what it was called, but it was a music video. And the creator of this, the director, had this concept for years, right? But productions are bloody expensive, as we all know, for so many different reasons. And then, yeah, he was able to go and create this, what is a beautiful piece of art using generative technologies. So the speed that we're working with is pretty astounding. Now, what I really want to bring home is that creativity is no longer limited by capital or resourcing or training even, nor is it by age. I teach workshops to kids, I teach them to adults, I teach them to everybody. This is a 67-year-old artist. You know, she'd had this creative practice for 30 years, and in an afternoon had gone and taken her body of work, trained to fine-tune a model or Laura or whatever, and be able to create work in her own aesthetic, which is pretty bloody spectacular. This one broke. This was how we all kind of got familiar with the concept of AI or deepfakes. This was back, I think it was like March 2023, about last year. Then this one came out, so this was Sora. Now, what I thought was really magical about Balloon Heads was the director, the creator, it worked with where the tech was at the time. Back then, faces were really hard. It was really, really hard to do faces. So being a very creative person, like, oh, well, let's just chuck a balloon there instead. And that is why this piece succeeded so much to me, because they were dealing with the technology where it was at when it came out. This is Kling. So this is the Chinese competitor to Sora. And this was like, I think about a month ago. When it came out, everyone was just jaw-dropping. Like, how? This is I had to deal with this every day. Where it's like, oh God, now it's this. Oh, now it's this. Now it's this. And the speed that things get outdated in this space race is just mind-blowing. This is NVIDIA. So that's not real. It's not a real human. That is generative, okay? And so this is where we're at right now. And we're halfway through the year, okay? This came out this week. This is Flux. You know, you're telling me that's not a real person? Like, seriously, this is where we're at. So this is Flux with, I think this is another runway. There's audio on this as well. But anyway, so like this is this ability to create. And I think in this room, like if this doesn't make you sit up and be like, okay, wait. Like this is where things are kind of moving in the trajectory that we're going on. I do not think that has to be a bad thing. I think as a producer, this should be something that makes your mind start clicking over. And I need you to be thinking 3 steps ahead at every point. Just expect the tech's there. Just assume that the tech is as good as it can be. Now, what are you going to do? How is your business model going to change, assuming that this stuff gets there? Now, fortunately, a video is a bit harder than image for us. We've got a bit of time to catch up because you have to apply physics. But, you know, this is just beautiful work. So when people tell me that creativity is being impacted by AI, I sit and look at this work and I'm like, that's foundationally not true. Like, look at this. Look what we're able to bring out and these new ways of working. So, yeah, I think if you saw that video, you wouldn't know that that was generated at all. It's beautiful. As mentioned before, industry is catching up. So industry is catching up. Well, we had Tribeca. They opened their Sora Shorts, which was bringing Gen AI into the process. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of this. Moreover, we start getting new ways of actually, like, what is the medium of storytelling? So this is a proposal for having like generative storytelling. So if I want to be like, no, actually, I want this character to date this character, I can just tell it that, and all of a sudden the script's rewritten to have that character interact in that different way. So we're almost becoming like in charge of the stories that we're watching as we're watching it. That and the role of an audience and a creator is very interesting. There's a difference, like when we used to make, oh God, I forget what it's called, but like the trees, like decision-making trees, was really, really, really expensive and arduous because you had to do all the tree stuff. Now, generative, it's like, oh, yeah, sure, we can put that back. So it's like the blending of games and film. This is really cool. Someone mentioned the HoloLens before, the thing. So what if we start walking around the world and our entire experience is this? It's like, actually, no, today, you know when you wear those like trippy glasses at a festival or something? I feel like the world looks cool. Like, this is where it's at. It's like, actually, I kind of want to be in Simpson land today. And I can go put on Simpson IP and we were walking around and all of you guys are yellow in front of me, you know? And and this stuff used to seem so sci-fi. And people pitch me things. I'm like, yeah, no, that checks probably. Like, so it is a really, really interesting way that we're moving forward with. Always through to business. So this is TikTok, right? TikTok now offer their creators the ability to deepfake themselves to sell their people things that they have never read. So this is script. So if I wanted, say if this was my creator, get a little bit of volume on this one. I think it's kind of interesting.
This avatar could make a product explainer within a matter of minutes.
With avatars, I can make videos at scale, since they can be produced, edited, and revised in no time.
With avatars, I can speak any language, making it easier than ever to form real and native connections with local communities.
En fait, je ne parle pas français.
Yeah, that's enough for the
Mais pour
sound.
Cannes,
Thank you.
je peux.
Okay, so this is people who already have an audience base. Like you hear influencers, they're just like they're exhausted because they have to like redo all these videos for a product that, to be honest, they probably don't really care about. That they have to go, pitch all these things out. Now they're like, just use my face, man. Honestly, I just want to stay in bed all day. So like, it's pretty crazy that we're seeing industry adopt these business opportunities. And I think we need to be paying attention to, TikTok blew the world up, right? And we see it with YouTube. We're going to be talking a lot today about these tech companies. We also need to consider that streamers are tech companies. I gave a big talk last year. I said, did we forget that Netflix is big tech? That people got really pissed because during the strike, Netflix offered like $1 million salary for a machine learning engineer, right? While our screenwriters could barely put food on their table. But we need to remember, these are streaming companies. They are foundationally tech companies. So I think we're going to be seeing a lot, and they're competing with YouTube. They're competing with TikTok. So this is kind of like interesting in understanding just the climate that we're existing in. Okay, so this is Sam Mullins, the CEO of OpenAI. So the technical progress that we make in the next 100 years will be far larger than since we first controlled fire or invented the wheel. And as somebody who every single day wakes up and is like, oh God, I have to do this today, the next thing and the next thing, this is seriously the pace that we're moving at. The 2025 skill report came out from the University of Sydney last week. It said the next 10 years will be the most disorientating of your career, but they will also become the most impactful. This is not just screen. This is every single industry, every single vertical. Everybody is where is this technology coming? I would also flag that this is an industrial revolution, and I don't think we quite understand the scale of what an industrial revolution means. The industrial revolution is the steam engine. It is electricity. It is the internet. AI is this kind of like next phase. Like it is revolutionary. I hate saying such like, since the pandemic, everything got so hyperbolic. It's just like, I'm like, no, this one for real. And so, yeah, we have this concept of we've got the agricultural age, the industrial age, the information age. So that was, I'm sure some people in this room were alive when the internet, came across. Like, you imagine today, I was born when the internet did its thing. So, but it's this concept of like, you could not talk to somebody in the 90s and their brain understand where we are now. Like you can't put them together. And that is what's kind of, I think, where we're at with AI. We just can't even consider it. I would also just quickly flag that we are experiencing change at the fastest rate in human history, like boom, and it's also the slowest it's ever going to be. So like, honestly, just go have a nice weekend, chill out for a sec, because it's just going to keep going and going and going. Okay. So, I did all the drama. Now I'm going to talk about the practical stuff. So our creativity is entirely unleashed by our tools. Our tools are what empower us. So here's a just quick interface of Leonardo. So Leonardo, just to give you background, like one of the world leaders in generative AI. We are absolutely astounding. I cannot believe an Australian-founded company can compete with Silicon Valley on the scale that we have. So much so that Canva turned around and was like, oh my God, you guys are doing a good job. Quick, come on board. We got acquired by them recently while still remaining independent. But what this means is we are now, like the fact that Australia is seriously a front runner in generative AI should be incredibly exciting for our industry, and particularly for the screen people in this room. Like we should be the leaders in this. Like we've got the opportunity, we've got the people, we've got the talent, and now we've got the backing as well. Canva's invested in this, so I think it's a really exciting time for us. So yeah, so we had all of our typewriters, cameras, computers. Gen AI is kind of this next frontier, and it also changed not just how we work, but also what the result of our of like new forms. I just want to get into the good stuff, so I'm going to start skipping through some things. Okay, I've broken this into 3 sections, despite everything you said, DeAndre, because I agree with you. They are all intersectional, but we'll just go through the process for the time being. Okay, so pre-production. I believe that it will be unfathomable for you to go to set without having previs this product. Like, this is screenwriting. So obviously you've got your storyboard. Now I can take this doodle and instantly turn it into like a beautiful imagery. So I think this idea of like, oh, there's going to be no storyboard artists. I think there could be, definitely. It's like you take these doodles and turn them into things. This is kind of how I work. Being able, to take imagery and kind of high-rise them up. What I think is interesting as well with a lot of this stuff is like when I used to do storyboards, not storyboards, pitch decks, like pitch decks and treatments, your best, what you do is you go take a kind of movie and like, well, it's kind of like this and it's kind of like this. Now I can be like, no, dude, it's literally this. And like, I think when you start pitching things, it's going to be, we don't have to make compromises anymore or confuse people with, well, the color grade's kind of like this, but it's got a bit of this and the actor looks like this. Now I can directly create exactly what I want, which is really special. These are just ways of doing, so this is Leonardo, this is our platform, which is beautiful. So you can actually visualize your entire thing. So you've got your script, your breakdown. Ooh, I wanted that one, damn it. So this is us. And so you're able to kind of do all these things. And it's just such a unbelievably fast, rapid way of working to the point I just upload my script and it does a quick, rapid, automated thing and sees how it goes or keeps building. This is one of our API clients. So we have an API at Leonardo, which just means that other companies can like build into our tech and then put it into theirs. So this is for like making trailers of films really, really fast. And so you can, quickly go and whip that up. And then there's a concept of like environments, worlds. You see how complex these images are? They're not complex with Gen. It's it's the same as making a black and white logo as it is with making this. So I think, like being able to kind of fantasize and visualize and everything from set design to product design to costume design, character design. I have met directors who have literally cast their actors based off generated images that they created. So they created their film as like, oh, I want an actor that looks like that. Which is a pretty, different way of working. So much to the point where I'm like, what if we just go plug that into a casting database where it's like, this is what I want, and it automatically scrapes that through a casting database and it's like, here's 3 people that look kind of like that. Like, I mean, I think acting obviously is much more to it, but this fact of like databases is interesting to me. This is mine. This is Leo stuff. So you've just got little sketches, being able to rapidly ideate through to different, maybe if you want different actors, you're like, who's going to look the best? Character consistency, I just drop in a face and it's somebody else's face. Lauras are a thing where you can like take IP that you already have and stack it on top and getting complex. Anyway, these are really, really helpful for getting consistency on things. Positions, this is the thing I was whipping up the other day, so being able to like take model and put it in the right position so that you can quickly rapid it out. This is a character I created, Lily, I use her on everything, and so you start building these like, digital twins are really common, but like this idea of like a character, a fictional character. Okay, I've got so much to get through, so let me just double check my time. Okay, cool. So if you don't think people are doing it, everybody's doing it. Okay, so this is Paramount. Paramount came out publicly with some of the stuff that they're playing with training Allura, I was talking about on their body of work. So because they have access to all of SpongeBob and all of this kind of stuff, they can train a thing on that so that they can be moving forward. And I think this is going to be really, really common. It just is common because they have access to that data source, so why would they not? And so this is just generative. So I think we're also going to see like changing to animation, just animation workflows being much, much faster, much easier. Video gen potentially, if you work in advertising or trailers, a lot of the time all you need is like 2-3 seconds. Or if you need like B-roll content, people can just be like, oh shit, we didn't get that on set. No worries, I can just quickly do a style transfer. The color grade's the exact same. This is generative faces. So like, look how bloody good these are. Like you can just go and chuck in an emotion and that emotion has changed. And I think these are going to be getting better and better and better and better and better. These are just like every week a competitor does a thing and another one does another thing and another one does another thing. So that's why I'm happy to show everybody's, because next week there's going to be another one. So this is like different styles of motion. We also do motion at Leo, which is awesome. We've got a bunch of filmmakers. And the other thing I want to note is speed, okay? If you've ever had to render a bloody 3D thing, your render will take like days, and then you'll be like, oh God, I missed a thing, and you have to go re-render the thing, and it's exhausting. Do you see the speed of that? 11 seconds? Are you joking? Like the tech, the speed is absolutely astounding that we're going to be working at. There's this little thing, so we have stuff like this with real-time gen. So if all of a sudden you've taken a photo of the car, but you actually want it to be a shiny car because your budget didn't allow you to buy that car, you can quickly go build and edit. This is another one of our API clients, where they go and take like their legacy traditional 3D built environments and then add Leo on top. So like render out color grades on top. So you still get to blend, if you want to, blend old workflows with new workflows. This entire thing was made off that one picture, which is just insane, right? And so you've got this ability to kind of like create environments. The cost of building a set like that would be so expensive, and now we can quickly, rapidly gen them out. This is a bit of old legacy tech as well. With keep going. Stop. Okay, cool. So this is like basic face. I think this is going to be quite common as like face acting stuff with AI, all the way through to like really beautiful like assets. Like these pictures are beautiful, right? And it's like legacy, like digital, the building this in Photoshop would take ages. And now I can make exactly what I want at speed. Might just skip through a few things. Beautiful. I don't know how much time. I want to show you this. This is a. Can I get volume on for this one? Just as a heads up, this is a bit of a heavy trigger warning on this one.
I witnessed a man burning himself to death.
I had a very young baby. He was witness with the suicide. He was witness with everyone screaming. He was witness with everyone fighting.
He put his hand over my mouth. He then raped me.
I was worried some things will happen. I live in fear of violence and abuse. I came by boat because my country was so dangerous for me. I just want to be able to live my life.
Photojournalism is so raw and visceral. The heart of this project is making sure that these witness statements are honoured and have the impact that they deserve.
As power, is that on? Yeah. So you see something as powerful as that, and it just is like the whole point of our stories is that we tell stories. That's the point, is to tell stories. And I think this technology is just such a beautiful way of being able to bring these things to life, which previously might not have been able to be done. Post is massive. Okay, I'm just gonna, this is another little video, but I think it's important examples. So this is being built into, where's that playing? Okay.
Crew or gear or copyrighted elements like brand logos. And with Premiere Pro, all your edits are non-destructive, so you can always get back to your original footage. When your clip is too short and you want to hold on a shot or a character for an extra beat, Generative Extend intelligently adds frames with Firefly, extending your footage, so you have the exact media you need. Like here, where we extend this shot of the woman a few frames. As we
Okay, so the video goes on and on. But these are legacy workflows in the fact that people are already using these tools, and AI is being built into tools. So if you use anything you already do, I promise you, Gen AI is being built into these tools to be just more intelligent, significantly more intelligent. This is a cool one. I thought this was interesting for anybody who does lighting. So, we film this, and we can choose any lighting we want, And so if you want a daytime thing, or you want to switch it over to nighttime, or if you want to switch it to a storm or anything like that, we can just rapidly be changing these things. Post-production workflows are going to be super powered by this technology. And I think because of that, the way that we actually do the production is going to be changed as well. So we talk about this whole bubble, like every single piece of the pie is about to kind of shift because it can be more intelligent. This is one of our Leonardo creators, Freddie, uses Leo for VFX stuff. So being able to shoot a person and just rapidly go and chuck whatever you want on, and being able to do that, the cost saving is incredible, as well as you know how sometimes you're limited, you're like, oh, well, that VFX wasn't very good. This way I can just quickly go and put it in and make sure it's great. He also does this little experiment with the Joker I thought was kind of cute. Well, so he just goes and, you know, takes the base and is able to chuck on our thing with Leo, which is great. De-aging, I mean, obviously we all know about that. We've heard about it for a long time. But yeah, Gen AI just being rapidly able to use this kind of stuff is really, really cool. Meta did this one the other day. So rotoscoping. Rotoscoping sucks. It's so hard to go through and like catch every single piece. You know, you missed a hand or whatever. Immediately intelligent. It's like, actually, that's a person, that's a skateboard, that's a this is the thing. And so I think, yeah, changing workflows with that is going to be big. This is another thing. So my roommate's an editor, and I walked in and he was using this, and I was like, what are you doing? And there was this, you know, shit out of focus. Somebody did a bad job on the spinny thing that day. You know, and just able to quickly go and make it high res using AI through to things like this, being able to increase the frame, you know, the production value. If this is all you can afford with your camera, with tech, we can just quickly go like, oh, actually, there's going to be more bubbles there, more bubbles there. So the production quality now looks this much higher. Like, what? Like, look how bloody good that is. So good. Oh, also, Olympics, if you want something, I should have put it in here, but the Olympics have been doing some crazy stuff with AI where they're able to, like, take a person mid-flight and then quickly catch it and spin it around so you can see all the different angles just using AI. It was meant to be in there. I forgot about it. All the way through to compliance editing and these little things. So this is, can I get audio on this one?
Now we're stuck on this stupid...
She swore, and they were trying to take it out.
Stuck on this stupid freaking tower in the middle of freaking nowhere.
Yay, producers.
It's all my
PG-13 on that one. Good. Language. So the whole idea of dubbing, right? Dubbing's fine. Sorry to the people who do voice dubbing. And so, yeah, this ability to kind of like, you think about your audience and how much more now your films can go everywhere. This is just a little peek. Netflix have a thing called a media language understanding platform, where pretty much they're able to work at speed with their content. So they can be like, an editor can be typing like, oh, can I get a shot of 11? Go grab 11. Oh, can I get a shot of the explosion? Oh, can I get a shot of the kiss? Whatever. So when their editors go into the edit bay, they don't really have to sit there for multiple things like writing notes. They can be like, oh, we need that line where she says that real good thing, type in the script. Immediately they have that database just working rapidly and intelligently throughout their content. This is us. I was doing a thing the other day with compliance editing. Again, if you've got a sexy poster, we can just quickly go add clothes on it. Really good if you're trying to hit different markets, different audiences. We can dress things. You can also do it with video in real time as well. Okay. Other things like marketing, collateral, all of that stuff, like this is so helpful. Like again, even if you want to use legacy practices and like build things and whatever, you still would need to make these different resources. So being able to make foreground, background, different assets like that. This was a funny little experiment I saw on the internet where this guy went and took and reimagined movie posters. They were pretty cool. But you know, like that is a production quality poster really. And I think we're going to be seeing that a lot coming through. As well as like artwork optimization. This is like I worked with Hoodlum, and like Hoodlum, like they were talking to me about when they had to deliver their movie to Netflix or whatever, they had to make 90 different versions of the same thingy for their different audience base. To me, like the immediate thought is like, well, now we would just have different audience profiles and personalities and like female 18 to 23, blah, 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 these different catalogs. You would take your film and it would just churn it through and rapidly be able to create artwork to suit that. So I think that's going to be something that we really see. This came out earlier in the year. A24 launched these posters and they got a media frenzy because people were like, it was made with AI. And I think that was in June, right? And now I think you would release this and you wouldn't get kicked back. Like I was speaking about Gen AI February 2023. So it's been almost 2 years that I've been on this stage, and people were not happy in February 2023. Let me tell you. Whereas like now, I think people are you cannot look at this and not completely understand the value this brings to our industry. This is valuable. This is the best thing we could have ever wished for. Honestly, I think this is going to change how we work as creators, seriously. This is just a good little use case. This is a creator who takes existing campaigns, so ads that already existed, and then reimagines them with AI. You tell me which is the better ad, okay? Because it's the one, for me, it's the one on the right. And like that is because it enabled the creator to be more creative. It empowered them to be able to be more experimental and imaginative in the output. Yeah, so I think we're just going to start seeing this kind of stuff a lot. Business is a whole thing, other element. It's my alarm going off, but I'm told, do we have more time? Yeah, okay. Okay, cool. Sorry, here we go. Okay, so business models are really interesting because you want to, I keep an eye on your competitors even if they're not directly parallel. So this is TikTok. So TikTok, if you have a product, you don't even have to write the thing. You literally drag a link to your product. It figures out what it is. You say who your audience is, who you're trying to hit, and all of a sudden it will go and generate your TikTok ad for that product. Through to writing scripts. You can pick an influencer. You can choose anyone you want. You say, oh, I want it to be inside. I want them to have that. I want them to do this, and they do that. And all of a sudden, this video and content can just like bulk come out. Now, this is clearly in advertising right now, but I mean, we start looking at how data informs streaming commissioning. Like, I would not be surprised. And I think as a producer, we're going to have to start thinking, are we making calls based off the data, or are we making calls based off gut? And you're going to get different results and different outcomes from it. Could I get sound on this one, please?
Well, not Adrian, but TikTok's latest Symphony digital avatar. I am a custom avatar born from TikTok's latest generative AI technology.
So yeah, she's just an avatar. And then we've got things like that. We had Miss AI recently, guys. We had who's the sexiest AI, looking at beauty, tech, and social clout. Now, what's ironic about this is I went to this page like, here to have a laugh. And I was like, damn, I love this account. And I started following her. I feel like she's my best friend. And it's just like, it's insane. We already have parasocial relationships with influencers where people think they're their best friends. People do it with celebrities as well. And this is where I think the business opportunity exists for, if I was a producer and people think I think I'm best friends with like Abby from Broad City, all of a sudden, like maybe I can be, and we can hang out, we can talk. Like Meta tried that with Paris Hilton and Kylie Jenner and all those things. They've actually cancelled them. They're not doing them anymore, which is interesting. So it clearly didn't have the success that they were looking for, but it is interesting. The other thing that I would add, if I was like trying to do some producer foresight stuff, being like, where is it going, is leasing on screen space, right? Now, I think what's going to happen is that movies are going to come out, and then if your thing's a success, then we can just quickly generate a different product on top of it. So if say your show's streaming really well, you might get a call from Coca-Cola being like, oh, can we actually chuck that in? And you're like, no worries, we'll just quickly generate it. Through to like brand clothing deals. Maybe our actors will start just wearing like random suits, and every time we can just generate different costumes on top of it, to the point that like you're gonna get this brand and you're gonna get that brand and you're gonna get that brand advertised on these different like broken down things. I can go so futuristic with this stuff, but like the thing is, things that I used to joke about are like happening. They're here. So I think we're at a point where nothing is unbelievable. So screen leasing, you heard it here first, guys. I hope I get commission somehow. I don't know. But the other thing that I think is really interesting to consider, like these shots are beautiful, right? These shots are beautiful because they follow principles of filmmaking, okay? And principles are rules. And what does AI need? Rules. And so I think we have to be thinking about, you've got rules of composition, rule of thirds, leading lines. We are good filmmakers because we know all of this. What happens when an AI knows all of this, right? So your AI, it knows that we want a 3-act structure. It knows that we have a hero's journey. It knows that you go from an established link to a close to a wide. It knows that you need to have these different elements. We're going to be getting results that are so good. It's like, is it better than me? And if it is better than me, then it's like, okay, well, what do we do with that? Like, how do we, like, is it better because the story's better? Or like when I was a writer, I still am a writer. When I was writing, I was a green writer. And I think my story was really good. I think my world was really good. But I wasn't very good at structure, because that's something that you learn through craft, right? What if my writing can be improved because all of a sudden these things that are hard, like structure and things that humans aren't naturally great at, we can build and get better at. So I think we're probably going to be seeing like that a lot more with more beautiful images based off like basic principles and rules. Okay, how much time do I have? Time? Okay. Let me just very, very quickly wrap on Leo. So I work for Leonardo.Ai, comprehensive content production suite, absolutely bloody incredible. We have over 19 million users. It's an astounding database, world leading in image gen, so being able to create stunning imagery, which we can then build out motion based off that. Honestly, I could go on for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours about all of this stuff. So if you want to come catch me at the end, let's do it. The takeaway that I just really want to close on is it's here. It's all here. It's here. It's happening with the biggest production companies in the world. They're all looking into it. Indies, this is a really good time. This is your time. This is your time that you get to compete with others on the big, big scale. So I think we're going to see a total kind of like equalizer. Yeah, this is the other thing. So it's like every single week this stuff changes, it gets better and better. We had words to image, then we had image to 2D, then we had 2D to 3D, 3D to motion, motion to interactive, interactive to spatial. What can't we even think ahead? It's going to go bigger and bigger than that. It's going to be crazy and exciting. And yeah, and oh yeah, lol, this is my end. You can start wearing one of these little extra fingers if you don't want to get caught. I love this. It's like criminals will start wearing extra prosthetic fingers to make surveillance footage look like it's AI generated and thus inadmissible as evidence. Trump is literally using this claim today about deepfaked audience. So that's a whole other conversation in itself. But yeah, look, that's where I'll close on today. We've got a bunch of free tokens for you guys if you want to do this with Leonardo. So I also do 1,000,001 webinars. My whole thing is about bringing others along, particularly creatives. I'm dedicated to making sure creatives are at the front of this thing. And so, yeah, we've got a webinar coming out next week. We've got a bunch on the website. I do 101s. I'm like, this is your intro to Gen AI. Hopefully today excited you, and then the webinars will be helping out on actually skills and how we can move forward for it. It's here. Our industry needs to get on board with it, and hopefully we can be front runners, because if we've got the backing of Canva and the backing of Leonardo, Australia should be the front runner in this technology. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. Thanks.
Thank you, Jessie.